Hi friends, it's Becky, and it is time for me to make my necklace, dress up my gemstone that I got from the Gemstone Orphanage. This is a bi-monthly bead subscription where you get a gemstone and lots of beads to dress it up with. I pulled out some of the beads from the box, but there were a lot more that we're going to be doing stuff with. Again, it is bi-monthly, so I'm going to be making stuff with it this month and next month. So we can do that. If you want to see my unboxing and all the other things that came in that, I'll put a link in the description below so you can grab that. So I've got my gemstone. It is beautiful, just like it is. And then I grabbed a, out of the findings pack that came with this bead box, I grabbed some of these toggle clasps as closures. There also included some jump rings, so I grabbed those too, and those are in the gunmetal color of the guys there. So we've got those all set, and then I also pulled out these Kambaba Jasper rondelles. I think that's what that one is, and then we have some of these green rondelles, and then these crystal rondelles, these flat ones. And since they're all about the same size and shape, I thought it would be fun to do some color blocking with them in this necklace. So I'm going to be using all three of these, just in groups of 5. I already counted them out so that we're ready to go. And I was going to use these 80 seed beads to go between all of them, but instead I'm going to be using these really light colored 2mm, or are they 3mm? I don't know. They're little tiny guys with lots of facets because it's just going to add a little extra sparkle to this whole thing. And I'm going to be stringing it onto some beading wire. I'm using the Fluorite Color Soft Flex medium wire because it is just a really easygoing green that's not going to overpower the other colors of this. I think a silver color beading wire would also look great with this. So we're going to be doing that, and so what I want to do is go ahead and just start stringing one side, and then make sure it's going to be long enough, and then I'll string the other side after I do that. So I'm going to start at the center, and we have this bail here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go. Focus. Because we've got this bail at the top of it, I'm just going to put about 3 of these 80s on the wire for the part of the necklace where the bail is going to be sitting on. Just so that it's there for that. So I am using some of the 80s in this necklace. I'm just going to grab one of these guys so that it can be the bookend for it. And so I wanted to use, like, kind of as an homage to where the Kambaba Jasper came from, because it's actually a fossil, like coral fossil, but these fossils were from, like, microorganisms that existed in the ancient seas. And so because that was its origin, we're going to pay an homage to the ocean with the beads and the color blocking. So we're going to start with the ocean bed, and then we're going to work our way up through the murky depths to the sparkling waves on top. And so that's just what I'm going to be doing with these guys. All right, so let's start with one of these gemstones, and these ones are faceted, these ones are totally round, and these ones are faceted, but those ones are crystals, not gemstones. And we're just going to pop these little guys in between all of them to give them a little more oomph, a little more space. And that's all we're going to be doing with this. So like I said, this is a bi-monthly subscription, which means it's every other month. And it is a good value for what you get in the bead subscription, and it's just really fun and very thoughtfully curated. There is so much that comes with it, and the gemstones are like all absolutely perfect. I have been having a lot of fun with this subscription. There may still be a few that are available. It was one of those subscriptions where, like, for a long time I was like, oh no, it's sold out, it's sold out. And so, like, when I finally was able to get on and subscribe, I was so happy because I had been wanting to for a while. And sometimes the subscriptions fill up, but they've been doing more subscriptions, I guess, per thing, which makes it even better because then more people get to enjoy the goodness of these boxes. They also have something called they're calling it Naked Baby. I don't know why, but you know that's what they're calling it. And it's gemstone that you can adopt and have in your home that you get to dress up, and it comes with instead of the full bag of goodies or box of goodies that you get with this subscription, it's just a smaller amount of dress up beads to accompany it, like enough to make like one project or, you know, a necklace and maybe a bracelet or something like that. But it makes it a little more cost effective as well. So if you wanted the Gemstone Orphanage stuff, but it might be a little out of your price range, you might be able to get one of those smaller ones, and that's on the Homestrung Jewelry on their website. I'll put a link to that in the description below. If they have any available, you'll be able to see that there. Oh my goodness, I love the color blocking so far. I think this is great. All right, now my idea was to do 2 sections of this on each side in this same order. There we go. I like the way that flows from one to the other. That's very pretty. Okay. So now I'm going to start another repeat with the ocean floor, and then the murky depths, and then the sparkling waves on top. That's where we're going with this. And there are so many more beads and things in the bag. We're going to pull some out. I already have an idea for a bracelet that we're going to do. But today, after having a day full of meetings, it started out with 3 meetings before noon, and then more. And before we start our holiday weekend, I wanted to definitely make this to get it created so that I had a beautiful thing to wear while I was doing more work tomorrow. Because most of the time I get dressed up in my the things that I made, and I wear them during my meetings, that sort of thing. It's actually, jewelry is such a great way to make it look like you're way more put together than you are. It's such a hack, a life hack, and it's one of those things that, you know, you don't really notice it too much until you're like, okay, you know what, I am working from home. I am not going to be wearing like heels and a dress suit or anything like that, but you want to feel a little more put together, especially if you're on like a video call or something. So having like some really nice jewelry that I've made, and just being able to put that on and look pulled together and look professional, even if like all I did was pull my hair back into a ponytail instead of, you know, all the other things that I used to do when I was getting ready for work. Just ponytail and sweatpants, and then a nice shirt and some pretty jewelry. So let me get another 5 of these guys off of here. And these came with these clear 8/0s as spacers. I'm going to save those and use them for another project probably, because these little sparkly guys are just making such great spacers between each of these. I kind of love that. But yeah, see, they're all like the same size and shape. So even though they're different cuts and different gemstones, and one of them's crystal and not even a gemstone, they still, like, they go so well together. I love that. They're very well balanced. And there was exactly the same amount of all of these types of beads, so it's really working out for people who like things to be even. You know what I mean? And here we go, one last one on this side. All right, what do you guys have planned for the holiday weekend? It's a holiday in the US, by the way. In the US, our Labor celebration is at the end of the summer, our Labor Day, instead of in May, because we have Memorial Day instead of May Day. So it's usually the last weekend in August, or the first weekend in September, something like that. However they work it, I don't know. I very rarely pay attention to that. I just look up when it's going to be on the internet, so I know when we're going and what we're doing. You know what? I'm going to be using jump rings for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a loop with my crimp, because I can just attach the jump ring to the loop. I don't have to have the loop go through either part of these, so I'm just going to use jump rings. We're making it easy on ourselves. Here we go. Now I'm going to crimp this, and I prefer a magical crimper. It's just my favorite way of crimping. There are obviously lots of other ways that you can do crimps if you so choose. I'm also using a 2x2 crimp tube for this, because that is what works in my magical crimper, which was literally right here. There we go. The magical crimper has a little concavity, focus, right there, and what you do is you center your 2x2 crimp tube, give a little smush, and it smushes down just the corners, so you have this like kind of flat-ish square like a ravioli. But then you want to turn it and just give it little smushes from different angles all the way around, and it smooths out those corners on those edges, so you have a nice ball of crimp. It's very secure. That's how we do it. Alright, so we are strung on one end. Just going to pull this out, give myself a little bit of extra room for crimping. There we go. And we're going to start here. Now I already have one of these guys on, so these next 4 will build up that block of color, which is why it's called color blocking. And Ellen just woke up and realized that I'm not sitting next to her. So she is laying there being sad that I'm not petting her. In case you hear a little bit of a whine in the background, it's just what she does about this time of day. She has been outside to enjoy the weather. She just recently ate. We just had snuggles. But sometimes she's like, that was not enough. And now I'm sad when I'm like, I have life that I need to keep doing. think she wishes that I was talking to her. Because I do like to have conversations with my dogs. I just love the way it like gradients up that way. I'm just so pleased about that. I love when one of my ideas just works out. And I'm like, I hope it works out like this. Half the time I'm winging it. But then like stuff comes together like this and I'm like, oh look, I look like I know what I'm doing. You too can look like you know what you're doing. Just do it with confidence. I was just going to put this on some leather and maybe do like a 2-layer necklace where like 1 layer was strung and then we had the leather coming down below because of the bail would fit perfectly on leather too. But I don't know, I wasn't feeling the double layer for this. I feel like it just needed its own spectacle, something that was going to draw your eye down towards it and then be cohesive for the whole thing. I put 2 of these on here. That's pretty silly. There we go. These crystals are like one of my favorite things to do, and I especially love the way that they sit between these spacer beads so nicely. All right, so our last little round of the sea bottom. Up here. The sea bottom can have some colorful colors. That's where you've got these little spots of pink showing through. I just love this box so much, y'all. It's a little bit crazy how pleased as punch I am to be making with this right now. This is exactly what I needed after a really long day, was making something beautiful with beautiful beads. Exactly what I needed. And I was really glad that it came with a bail so I could just concentrate on making the necklace part and not worry too much about the wire wrapping, which I mean I could have done, but this is making me real happy. Okay, so now we're moving up from the seafloor into the murky depths, and as we progress, the water will get clearer and clearer. I think it really helps bridging the gap between the seafloor and the sparkles to have these in like dark to light order. There we go. Those murky depths are getting a little less murky. Until we are almost to the surface of the ocean. Sometimes when I am feeling particularly stressed, I do a little relaxation exercise where I will close my eyes and imagine that I am beneath the ocean with all of the pressure of that water coming in at me from all sides, and then in my mind I rise from the bottom of that ocean, and the pressure just lessens and lessens and lessens until it all falls away and I break the surface and I'm free. It's just one of those things that I do when, you know, I really need to get the stress out, to have all of that go away for a little while. What types of things do you use in your mind when things are a little too much and you need to just relax a little bit? What kind of little stories do you tell yourself to help you deal with things? Because, you know, that's one of the things that I always think about. And it helps a lot just to close your eyes, breathe deep, and just imagine the pressure, physical pressure on your body moving away from you. Now, actually rising from the depths of the ocean is something that needs to be done very slowly in actual fact, because the pressure falling away from you could be very dangerous. So it's just a mind exercise. It is not for actually like changing pressure in real life. Like, before any of y'all who are scuba certified come for me in the mentions, I do need to say that that is just a mind exercise. It is not something that you would want to do in actual reality. All right. There we go. All right, let's get my last little loop crimped, and then we will attach a clasp, and that will be done. Now, I want there to be a little bit of movement, so I'm going to go ahead and twist this up, because when you have beads twisted on themselves, it creates a little bit of pressure on the wire so that there's more movement when you're done. It loosens the slack afterwards. So this is just taking up the slack to curl it. And then when you crimp, you can be sure after doing it that way that you won't have a necklace that is too tight with those beads. There we go. See, look how slinky that is. Not tight at all. Nice and slinky. I love it so much. This was absolutely the perfect way for me to unwind after work. I am telling you, and I hope y'all are having a good unwind after work kind of a day as well, if you are watching this at the end of your day. So we're going to pull out our little clasp. I'm going to grab a couple of jump rings. Let's see. I think I would like this jump ring and that jump ring. Actually, let's do 2 jump rings for the toggle part of this clasp, because this one, it needs to have like articulation, and I'm going to use some of these smaller ones. I'm just going to use 2 of them on it so that it has a little bit more room to be able to draw through before it gets bumped up to the bottom of that. It's just, you know, the way that they work, it's going to work better for me that way. So for tools for opening my jump rings, I'm going to use, you'll want to have like 2 tools, either a ring to hold one side of the jump ring steady, or I'm just going to use my crimper to hold that part of the jump ring like this. And then I'm going to use my other pliers to swing it open like that. You just twist it, you don't pull it apart. And that way I can get my guy attached. And then you put on the 2 things that you want to join with the jump ring while it's still open. And see, I've still got it in my left hand here. You can put it down and then pick it up again, but it's holding this side sturdy while I twist with the other side and make sure that those ends come together. Now my jump ring's closed. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to take these smaller jump rings. And I'm going to put on one of these smaller jump rings on this one. I'm going to need to open that a lot more actually. That needs to swing open quite a bit. Put this one on here and then link that jump ring to this toggle. And then close it up. And these were very small jump rings like that, so it's almost like a little chain hanging on from there. And then I can take my other jump ring here and swing that open, and then attach this last link to that jump ring, and then the necklace to that end, and then swing it closed. Make sure it's good and closed. And we're done. All right. So once more, I will have links to both my unboxing and the Homestrung Jewelry website where you can find out more information about this box. If they have any extras, they'll be available for purchase there. If there are any openings in the subscription and you want to jump in, go ahead and do that. I believe they do have a coupon code on their site that you can use. I don't have an individual one, but feel free to tell them Becky sent you. I don't get extra things for it or anything like that. I just get the joy of knowing that I'm helping other people enjoy this box as well. But I really appreciate your time and you spending a little bit of time with me to relax and unwind with some beads. And I hope that whatever is happening in your day, it's going to be just a little bit better going forward. Bye for now. Happy beading.